Welcome to another exciting edition of the Voice of the College Nation radio show. This is the College Genesis. It's the College Genesis, and welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. I know we got a couple of people in the chat room. If you're out there, say hello in the chat room. Let me know you're here. Remember something to like, share, and subscribe to this video. Like, share, and subscribe to this video. Let's get this party popping. Let's get this party stopping. I got a good topic tonight, which is the show topic is, does Black America have an identity crisis? Okay. And the reason I'm doing this show is because some people responded to my videos and they think that I've turned against pan-africanism and all this stuff like this. What's up, G Rock? I think I'm turned against pan-africanism. No, nothing could be further from the truth. I'm still a pan-Africanist and everything. It's just that people have taken this pan-Africanism thing for a joke. And basically, so if you want to know what a real pan-Africanist is, I'm going to give an example of what one is. People say, oh, pan-Africanism is dead. No. The fools and the clowns and everything running around calling themselves pan-Africanists is dead. The real movement of pan-Africanism is still alive and well, still alive and well. And I'm going to basically show you tonight what we're talking about. Tonight we're talking about Black America's identity crisis. What I mean by identity crisis, we have people running around calling themselves, and we're going to put this to rest tonight too. This idea of like he had 4 righteous teachers. She said, Kala, I wish Kala stopped saying that. We are indigenous, aboriginal to America. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. We're indigenous to America. We didn't come from Africa. Wow. If you didn't come from Africa, you surely be up in African business all the time and whatnot. If I'm not an Eskimo, right? You don't see me on Eskimo live streams and everything, talking about Eskimo issues and everything, because I know I'm not a goddamn Eskimo. You don't chat rooms. You don't see me on the Filipinos because I'm not that. So if I'm not that, then I have I could care less about what these people do, unless they invite me on to talk about a specific issue and everything. But for people who say they're not African, they sure find themselves all in African business all the time and everything. And so tonight we're going to talk about that. And the bottom line is rooted in this anti-African self-hating culture that's in Black America. That's all it is. I asked the question, if you are indigenous to America, where's your proof? Okay? There's not one credible source of information. Wow, this is a Dane Cow. I ain't talking about some idiot, something you saw online on YouTube and some stupid stuff like this. You can get online and create anything. Where's the books? Where's the research? Where's any documentation? And then and that's what shows you the illiterate, the functionally illiterate Black people, right? They clearly got so much research. But when something goes against what they're saying and their delusions, suddenly they question the credibility about the truth and everything else. Oh man, that's the white man's books. That's the white man's book. You've been lied to, and everybody else is stupid. But you who say who you are, when you look in the mirror, when I look at you, you're a complete African. You're Black African. Your ancestors came over here, translated, so you were not already here. Not some of us already here. What you call it? Y'all talk about, you go 4 heads, 4 Black right here. Y'all talk about Black America all the time. I am Black American, so I can talk about Black America. Time. And that's why we talk about, no, you guys are obsessed with Pan-Africa. There's a whole bunch of Black Americans out there doing a whole bunch of stuff, but you seem to be focused on Pan-Africanism. You said we are. Why don't you say you're not African because you're in denial? That's what's stupid. That we're not African. Who are you? Have you talked to 44 million Black people in this country? No. You probably talked to a total of people in your life and your life. You're total like 20 people. You're 20 crazy, unemployed, delusional people like you are. Sitting there talking about you're not African, and you won't even show your face. Why don't you show your face? Show us your face. Show us the evidence. Show us what you look like, you know, and I will show you a black African woman, you know. Ain't nobody bankrupting black Americans, you know. How's Pan-Africanism? I have not taken a dime from anybody. You can't say I'm taking money from anybody. I've taking money from anyone. Who's bankrupting black Americans? White people freaking take your money every day. Jews take your money out of your community. They take everything. The white man got his hand in everything the black people do. And you talk about Pan-African. If Pan bankrupting black America, then why isn't Pan-African walking around with millions of dollars? Black America generates $1.6 trillion a year. How much is that going into the so-called Pan-Africanism? You sound stupid. You ran into the wrong person when you start messing with the college genesis. I'm not these other clowns out here that are going to let you walk all over and talk all this freaking nonsense. You know? Even your voice. You're a black woman. I can tell black people by their voice, their diction, you know, the bass in your voice, that deep voice you have. You're an African woman. You know? So this nonsense about we're not Africans. You're 100% African. You were just too ashamed to admit that you're African. That's the sad part about this. And you'll never be blessed because you curse your bloodline. You curse your ancestors. What you're doing is you cursing your ancestors. Your ancestors were on slave ships. When you deny the Maya for the slave trade, you are cursed. You're an abomination. You know? You want to do some good work and everything like that, start by loving yourself. When you talk about I was no African, I wasn't brought over in no slave trade, stop it. And the Pan-African, most Pan-Africans don't care about what you think, you know. I don't have to claim I'm African. That's what I am. I know my ancestors. I know my genealogy. Even before I did my genealogy, I knew these stories in my family and everything. I don't see the difference between you and me. I don't come from ghetto black trash that you probably don't even know who your father is. I know who my father is, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather. I knew all that, you know, in my family. So all you black people that come from just garbage and ghetto, of course you probably don't know that. You don't know who your father is. You probably don't even know who your grandfather is. You don't know anything about your history. So you're apt to believe anything like that. I know who my family is. I can tell you my whole entire family story of both sides of my family. So I don't need somebody telling me, oh, you're this and whatnot. Some people coming out of nowhere, no education, illiterates, and stupid, ignorant black people telling me, oh, slavery never happened. Slave trade never happened. Slavery never happened and whatnot by illiterate black people who don't have any family history, don't have any family tree, don't have anything. You know? And that's the problem. That's what we're going to have to break up tonight. You know, it's not even about Pan-African versus people who are pro-Black American. Like I say, people out here celebrating the 4th of July. I have you look. If you want to be an American, hey, I support you. If you made your peace with America and say, I'm an American, I support you, right? I support anybody that's a decent black person that raise their family and do the right thing. They're decent people who are in the Pan-African movement, and they're decent people that are pro-Americans. What I don't like is garbage, ghetto ass trash people on both sides of the equation who don't know anything thing but just lying and being illiterate and stupid. You know, that's who I'm against. Most are American. Okay, let's say okay. She goes, most of us are American, not African. We'll highlight some more comments so we can. Most are Americans, not Africans. Now, for righteous black, for black, whatever like that. She can't tell me where does the word America come from. Type in. You got like I know you're Googling right now. Tell us where did the word America come from? Where's the word where did the word American come from? You're an American, something like that. Where's the term American come from? She can't ask you. America was named after an Italian explorer called Amerigo Vespucci. And they called the New World America after the people who explored this land from Europe. You know? Amerigo Vespucci. That's American. So you're calling yourself after a European white man. So the bottom line is this: people who call themselves, people who came to the New World, will call Americans. You know, tomorrow we ain't African, we're indigenous. So you're not indigenous to this land. There's no such thing as a black person. Now, here's the problem, right? On one hand, you're not black, you're not African. And on the other hand, they say we're indigenous to this land. How can you be both? How can you not be African, right? And then on the other hand, you say we're indigenous to this land. You know, we're not copper colored anything. You're black. You know, copper colored people, nothing. You're black. When I look at you, I see Negro. I see black skin. I don't see no copper colored. I never seen a copper colored nigga in my life. I see is black people. I see black skin. I see nappy hair. I see thing that ties you directly to the mother African continent. That's what you are. You don't want to hear that because it's the truth. Oh, we're not thing. It's an identity crisis, and you cannot win nothing not knowing who the hell you are. Reason why other people win: you go up to a Chinese, he'll give you all his history. He knows his history for thousands of years. He's proud of his history. He'll tell you everything about his history. You go to the Italian, he'll know everything about his history. Blah 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 blah. He's not saying he's a German. He said, "I'm an Italian. I'm from Italy." You know. Only when it comes to the Black American, you go to a Ghanaian, right? He'll say, I'm from Ashanti. I'm a Khan. You go to Nigeria, he said, I'm an Igbo. I'm a Yoruba. You know, they know who they are. When you know who you are, you know who you are, you have a chance in this world. But when you don't know who you are, you're nothing but a slave. You're nothing but the garbage that they said you are in the field. When the white man came and put you in the most worst position the world's ever seen, as slaves and this chattel, not even slaves, but just human chattel. They say you're just nothing but a nigger. You don't have no identity and everything. For black and people like The Rock is proving the white man's wrong, that black people ain't nothing but a bunch of stupid, dumb niggas. And when I don't know who they are, don't know where they are, don't know why they are, don't know anything about themselves other than they hate what they are. That's just pure self-hate. And that's what the way they walk around every day hating themselves. Now, somebody wants to say about, like I said, about the Pan-African movement. Somebody said they want to go to Ghana, they want to change the scene. And there's a lot of successful black people from America who go to Africa all the time. You know, I was in Liberia. I met a bunch of African Americans over there, proud African Americans who own property, land, and doing business in Liberia. And they're in places like Angola and Zambia, South Africa, and everything like that. And they're not asking you to accept what they are. They said that's what they did. They want me to. Why? So why is it that you have a problem with what somebody else did? If you don't have, you say you don't want to have nothing to do with Africa. I have nothing to do with Africa. That's fine. Nobody's asking you to do that. But you guys sit up here all day and all night and just, oh yeah, so Africans are getting, black people are getting scammed in Africa. Like you care about black people. Black people don't give a damn about nobody. You don't even care about yourself. You know, how can people who don't even have any self-respect for righteous is a chick that doesn't have any respect for herself as a woman, as a black woman and whatnot, and she gonna act like she cares about people she don't even know. Come on, stop the cap. You know, funny thing, people say we're indigenous Americans. Okay, so only a few came. So you were sitting here in America, right? You're going to have us believe that you were, and these people never, when you ask them, press them, ask questions, The Rock will never get up here. He don't have the guts to get up here. I'll put the link in the chat room. He'll never get up here and try to articulate his point of view. I'll ask him questions like, okay, can you name me a city or town that you so-called Aboriginals had before the white man came in? And how'd the white man end up enslaving you? You know, 4 black won't get up here either. None of them will get up here. They're too scared. When it comes to the college Genesis and whatnot, they know they're dealing with the real thing here. Other people don't know how to debate. That's why I said, when you talk about a Pan-African warrior, I've been at this longer than some of you people have been alive. You know, The Rock, I love and care. No, you don't. You don't love yourself. How can you care about Black America and you don't even care about yourself? I don't believe people who talk like 4 black and The Rock, I don't believe they love black people. I believe they just have an inner loathing of themselves, and they hate black people. They hate being black and everything like that. And Africa reminds them that they're black. For like you're lucky to even be alive after you're visiting Liberia. They're like, stupid. This girl's so freaking stupid. I go over there every year and whatnot. Every year. I'm safer in Liberia than I ever will be in America. The streets are safe, everything like that. I can walk the streets at night in Liberia. You look at freaking parts of Philadelphia, parts of Memphis, Tennessee, people killing each other, shooting each other, gunshots, murder, everything like that. And these black people talk about, oh yeah, we foundational black. What's your foundation? Death, murder, and destruction. Anything's an improvement on what you do. On one hand, you guys talk about, oh yeah, we got it popping over here in America, but yet you want the white man to give you a reparations check. I thought you had it popping over here. We got it popping over here. Donald Trump said, we got to protect black jobs. What jobs do we need? We're doing all kinds of professional work and everything. But you were just sitting there asking for a damn reparations check a minute ago. You're telling us how hard you got it and that you need a leg up. So what's the reparations for? Well, that's old. So on one hand, you want a reparations check, but you won't admit that your ancestors were slaves. So you want a reparations check for the black people. You say the few black people that came over here on the transatlantic slave trade. And also, in nowhere in history has anybody ever been enslaved on their own land. A slave is taken from his land, right, that he knows, and taken to a foreign land in captivity. Slavery worked because the black race was in captivity off his native land. That's why they got Africans over here, not Native Americans. The Native Americans knew the land. You couldn't enslave them, Name me one battle, right? You got the Battle of Bighorn, you got the Battle of Big Sioux, you got all these battles with the Comanches, the Navajo, and all these other famous battles that the Europeans had with the native the tribes that came here. Show me one documentation of a war between a so-called black Aboriginal and a white man. Show me one. I'm gonna give such and such the link. I want her to tell me, name one battle that a documented battle that is so-called thing. Where's the army? Where's the army? What they fight with? What kind of weapons do they use? Where did they exist at? Where did they exist at? She can't tell you that. Oh, we're indigenous to this land. We were already here or everything like that. Well, how'd you end up in chains? That's impossible. In the annals of history, there wasn't even chattel slavery really on the African continent. They had to take them to Arabia and take them out of Africa. You could not put slavery on the African continent because you can't have slavery where the people that you're in slavery are the vast majority. It just doesn't work. You have to have slave castles, and you have to have a system where you remove people from the native land and enslave them. So you guys are freaking stupid. You don't even know basic history. And even about me going to Liberia, I can go to Liberia anytime I want to. I can go to Liberia anytime I want to. That's not the point. I'm saying if I go, what businesses is of yours? Why do you care? Why do you care what I do? That's another thing about black people. They're always in everybody else's business. She sits up here day and night. Black people going to Ghana. Black people getting scammed in Ghana and whatnot. That's not going to stop black people going to Ghana. It's not going to stop black people from going to Liberia. That's not going to stop black people going for Senegal. That's not going to stop people from going to South Africa. No matter what you say or do, it's still happening. So the bottom line, you can sit here all you want. Oh yeah, and then I'm not African. Well, you guys sound so freaking stupid. That's why on that part of the argument, when I think you guys got me wrong, I'm just trying to correct the Africans who basically, for the longest time, have been taking our Pan-Africanism. I'm somebody that's serious about Pan-Africanism, right? And the bottom line, there's a lot of people who don't know that there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of self-hate in the black African-American, black American community, as you say. And there's a lot of people who don't know anything and whatnot. And that's who the Africans tend to come across. They come across ignorant black people in America, and they think we're all like that. And I'm just telling them, no, we're not. And they know, deal with me, that black people in America are not stupid. They're not fools. And that's the one thing the Liberians will tell you. They say, Collins no fool. He's no fool. He no fool. He's a fool. He knows what he's talking about. And the bottom line is, and Liberians give me the utmost respect, you know, and I make people respect my people, and I make people respect Black America, you know, and that's how I'm rolling in Black America. I make people respect who I am. I respect my people, respect our culture, respect everything, because that's what bred me. Black America is what bred me, you know. So when I'm reaching out to Africa, I'm giving the best. When you get to College Genesis, you're getting the best of what Black America has to offer. You know, you're getting the best. Funny, BAO dragged you research. I don't give a damn about what those fake ass BAO body boys that used to be down with me think. When they're a bunch of body boys. You want to know the truth? You know, the so-called BAO or these people like this, we split because they're a bunch of body boys. You know what a body boy is? Jamaicans, body boys are homosexuals. You know, and these people have infiltrated the group, and I kicked them out and whatnot. And several people in the top BAO sided with the body boys and whatnot. And I'm saying, no, it's not going to go. 5 years it passes. I spoke to 80 of them, and look how far I've gone. My BAO is the largest BAO thing, just like a nation of Islam split into different groups and everything like that. The BAO split, and I have the largest, most powerful group. More people follow me and everything than these other people. All they know how to do is make YouTube videos talking about me. They can't tell you anything. They can't get on here and talk about history and talk about this. All they do is sit there and talk about college Genesis, making jokes, talk about college Genesis all 24 hours a day. That's all they talk about. So they could so-called drag me all they want. You know, I don't care about them dragging me. I'm making progress. I just took 17 people to Liberia. You know, let them do that. 17 people on a world-class tour. You know, stayed in 4 resorts in Liberia and whatnot. We dumped a lot of money in that country, and people had a good time and everything like that. You know, everybody got home safe and everything like that. You know, they say you didn't build it, but I am the BAIO. You know, they said I didn't build the BAO. I built the thing. The BAO is based on College Genesis personality. I was discovered by Dynasty Amir. How'd that happen? You know, and then all these other people came along. Nobody knew who all these other guys were. These guys came along, and a lot of these guys, so-called BAO, never show their face. They don't know. I don't even know who they are. I don't even know what they look like. They joined our social network that I had, and next thing you know, they just on there ranting and whatnot. They don't get on there. You never see any so-called BAO people call it the Brandy Show, call it a Dinah Show, or Fellowship outside their little weird hovel. You know, so the bottom line is this. So nice try. Nice try to use people who don't have nothing, can't do what I'm doing. You know, I'm an author. You know, I'm an author. You know, I got 4 different movie companies want to make my book into a movie. You know, so I'm an accomplished author. You know, I wrote the first historical novel on Liberia. I did that 10 years ago. So I put in work. You know, I did this. I put in work. So he said that's why you're a failure because you're affiliated with Gigolo, Dynasty Amir. Now you talk about Dynasty. What did Dynasty don't even know who you are? You know? You know, you don't know who you are. You're affiliated with Dynasty Amir. You know, so Dynasty found me. He sought me out. He heard there was this guy named College Genesis who had a lot of knowledge about Africa and Liberia in particular, and he just had to have me on the show. That was 6 years ago. 6 years ago, in March of 2018. That was 6 years ago. I was on his show, and that's when the BAL exploded and grew. Then everybody started signing up, joining, and everything like that. And then some people started trying to go their own way and stuff like that. You know. So, this guy, the Rock said, "You give me fucking trade. Do you know the history of Liberia? Liberia, Liberia never had no damn slave traders. You fool. You know, Liberia never had trades. Filthy Africa. You know, Liberia never had no slave trade. So I don't know what the heck you're talking about." For like I say, you may be right, but your talking sucks. So I'm just saying what I say. I don't sit there and talk with a smooth tongue. I just tell it like it is. I sell it like it is. Also, I have a radio show that I broadcast Wednesday nights throughout the world on DeVille Radio. I broadcast throughout the world, 130 countries, the largest hip hop and R&B radio platform in the world called DeVille Radio, formerly Gangsterville Radio. I have a live Wednesday night show, a talk show. I have the only talk show. I have like one now since I came there 4 years ago. Now there's another guy does talk radio, but before it was just music. People had DJs when it was nothing but DJs. But I brought talk and politics and pan-africanism to this thing, and the show was like this. I have one of the #1 top rated shows on DeVille Radio. I broadcast live throughout the world. You got people in Australia, like, who's this Genesis guy? I'm not just on YouTube. It took me a while just to even get on YouTube because I was satisfied with the reach I was getting from my radio show. So I never need to even do YouTube. YouTube, like For Righteous, is for people who can't afford to get their own platform. I got a real platform. DeVille Radio is a real platform I pay for and everything like that. So all you people out there, that all you guys got is a free YouTube account and whatnot, and you're running your freaking mouth and whatnot, you need to shut up. Rock says Africa's a shit. When I was going to Liberia, Asians weren't running shit. Liberians were running stuff and everything like that. I don't know what you're talking about. Most of the businesses there were Liberians. I was eating at Liberian restaurants. I was eating and staying in Liberian-owned hotels and stuff like that. Black people running it, Black Africans running it, and stuff like that. That's what happens when you're civilized. You can get along with anybody. And then when we did stay in a place that was Lebanese, they were so cool because most of their staff was Black, with Liberians and everything like that. And the Liberians were just so cool. It's like, you would think you're talking to brothers and sisters from America. They know a lot of music. They know a lot of lingo, everything like that. And they just showed us so much respect and love and everything like that. You guys are nothing but filthy Black American trash. That's what you guys are. Filthy. I didn't fall out with Bomani, I didn't fall out with Bomani. Bomani does his thing. I do my thing. Bomani does his thing. I do my thing. He has this thing. He's trying to do tours, and he got a different way of seeing the things. I have a different way of seeing things. I'm a man. I got to do things my way. And that's the way I'm going to do it for now. I got to say things I got to say, because the bottom line, some of the stuff I'm going to say, I don't want to put him on the line and put him in jeopardy for the stuff I got to say, because I know he can't handle a lot of the heat that I can handle. I'm ready for it. So the bottom line is, we just agreed that he's going to do his show, do what he does and everything like that. And I'll do mine. We're still cool. Him and I are still cool. That's my brother and everything like that. But just that, he's into the business aspects of this thing called tourism and stuff like that. He's trying to make his money and everything. I don't need to friggin' make money off the Pan-African movement. I have a business here. I get paid really well for the business I run. I'm about to move into a brand new office next month and everything like that. Bigger office, 3 times the size of the office I have right now. I'm a successful businessman. I train people and I build people up to work with me, under me in my agency. So I don't need to get which we call money off the Pan-African movement. I don't need to do tours. I don't do this like that. Now, if somebody wants to put the time in and go on tours, tourism and stuff like that is not my thing. I did it and everything like that because I said, look, I did it just to show that I could do it and everything like that. And that's it. That's all that. If we do another tour to Liberia, okay, I might do another one next year. Who knows? I might go to another African country and everything, introduce another African country and everything like that. But the bottom line is that's not what I'm trying to do. That's not how I make my bread. That's not how I make my money. I don't need that headache and everything like that. It's a conflict of interest. Because when I tell people something about something, whatnot, I want to make sure that people know that I'm not doing it because I'm trying to I have monetary gain for a decision I tell you about. I tell people all the time, to be honest with you, I tell people all the time, don't go to Africa. You're not ready. I tell people, stay in America, tough it out and everything like that. Get your job, get your career. I talk more people out of going to Africa than I talk people into it. If you knew anything For Righteous, I talk more people out of going to Africa. I said, look, because why? Because when you're real and you're sincere, you tell people the truth. And I tell you like this, the average black person in America is not ready for Africa, is not ready to live that life. You can go over there for a month at the most. You can go over there for a week or two, whatever like that. Unless you're ready to retire and you got a lot of money and everything like that, and you could build a house or purchase a property and everything like that. You got a car and all stuff like this and everything like that, don't go over to Africa thinking you're going to open a business and like that. No, the best place for Black America to make money at and live a good life is here in the United States. I said that. I never said Pan-African was like, we need to bum rush the coast. We always call the bum rush the coast theory. America's so bad, man. I got to bum rush the coast. I was never a bum rush the coast Negro. So clear that out of your head. So what other argument do you have? Carl's definitely not a bum rush the coast Negro. Because I tell people all the time, no, you're not ready for that. Say one out of every 200,000 African Americans or Black Americans, you will say, we're not is capable of living on the African continent. That's a tough thing to do. And I know most Black people out here, now if you're young, to be honest with you, if you're young and you're 20s and everything like that, and you're trying to find yourself, you can make mistakes. But once you get up in your late 30s and 40s and 50s, you cannot bounce back from going over the continent, losing everything and try to come back. Well, you can't do that. If you're in your 20s, early 20s, whatever like that, you can go over there, have a good time and everything like that. And when you fail, you could basically call it, you give all your money to them African booty scratchers or whatnot. See, that's what I say. This is the thing. Look, somebody named G said, why do you think Black Africans, first of all, they're not envious of people like you. They're not envious of poor, broken down Black Americans. I get it because I'm a Black American success story. So the bottom line is my life and everything. I have first world problems. Africans don't have first world problems. My problem today was where we're gonna have a friggin' hang out with my brother. We're doing the 4th of July, where we're gonna do fireworks and have a cookout at my brother's pool, or we're gonna go to the park and watch the fireworks. I got first world problems. What property we're gonna flip the land we own in North Carolina? I got first world problems. I don't have money issues and trying to survive. I got to get a visa and all this kind of stuff like this. I got to worry about my family back home, if they're going to make it out alive, if there's a coup happening and whatnot, or whatever like that. Those are not my problems. I grew up in Black middle America. My life was was great. I had good teenage years. I went to a nice school. I had a nice house. My parents gave me a nice house. They gave me a nice life here in America and whatnot. So I don't know what it's like to be poor. I don't know what it's like to suffer. Never did. So the bottom line is, that's not my problem. And so, and I said, when I say there's a lot of people from the Caribbean and stuff like that envy that. Well, that's what the life they envy. They envy people like me. They're not envying the majority. The majority of you, they feel sorry for you because you guys are broke and you got nothing going on for yourself or whatnot, and you ain't doing nothing. And they see there's all this opportunity and y'all not doing nothing with it, So they not thinking about y'all, and everything like that. But they are envious of the real Black America that basically is working. We're going to play some of the real Black America tonight. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, the greatness of Black America, and stuff like this. Why I'm proud to be Black American and whatnot. Why most Black people, I talk to Black people who are doctors, lawyers, engineers. Not one of them will ever say that they're friggin' Aboriginal or some stupid shit like that. It's only the ignorant Black people, this ghetto trash or whatnot, that come from broken generations of broken homes and degeneracy and drugs and everything, that don't have a friggin' history. Can't tell you who their grandfather, For Rock, can't tell you who her father is. She can't tell you who her grandfather is. She don't know anything about that. So it's just easy for her to believe that her ancestors are all here. With me, I know my history. I know my history. I know where my grandfather was born at on both sides of my family. I know my great-grandfather was born at both sides of my family. I knew my great-great-grandmother, where she was born at, but that's the other thing. I knew that my great-grandfather, not even great-great, my great-grandfather was a slave in North Carolina. I know these stories because we still got the land that my family inherited after slavery on both sides of my family. So you people coming here with this brand new shit, talking about, oh, slavery never happened, blah, 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 like that. And so the bottom line is this: all you black trash garbage people, you freaking filthy garbage people, y'all can go to hell for all I care. You don't like yourself, you don't love yourself. I would say like this: you risk getting kicked off YouTube. Just commit suicide. Do me a favor. Go to your nearest tall building, take a dive off head first or whatnot, and hit your head on the concrete and just be done with it. That's what you think. You know, that's what you deserve. You don't, for right to your line, you don't know who your father is. You know, he wasn't in your life. He was not in your life. You know, I could tell people who come from trash, from ghetto ass trash. I could tell them. Yeah, I could tell them. You come from ghetto ass trash, you know. You know. You don't know who your father is. You don't know who your grandfather is. You don't know anything about your family. How the hell you gonna talk about your father, and you're gonna tell me some story about that you weren't a slave and your ancestors were already here? That means your father's stupid and ignorant. He never educated you. He never told you anything and everything like that. You never spent no quality time with him. My family, on both sides of my family, told us our history. You know, that's in the black culture. Telling your kids the history of how people got here and who we are and stuff like this. So therefore, when you get here as an adult, as a man, I could stand up to the world. You know, I could stand up to the world, you know. There we go. Let's see what this garbage this has to say. Here we go.
It's truly amazing.
Hold up.
Respectful before even having a conversation with me. I have not been rude to you yet, but I can be. And I don't know why you would say I don't know my father. We weren't close, but I know
that's what I'm talking about.
So
exactly.
what?
Yeah.
I still know who my fucking father was. You said I didn't know who he was. Shut the fuck up. Let me finish. I do know who the fuck my fucking father was. Don't fucking tell me I don't know who my fucking father is.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying he wasn't in your life.
So what?
So that's what I'm talking about.
But don't say I don't know my fucking father. I know my mom and my dad both were fucking married. You fucking imbecile.
Look, don't you know I know this stuff?
You don't know shit, Carla. All you are is a big-headed Rockwaller bitch made nigga is what you are. Okay. You assume because you're a Pan-African that you know what the fuck you're doing, but you do not. No one's following you. No one fucking cares. No one's fucking going to Africa. No one fucking cares. When will you get that to your head? And the reason why I fucking care about what Pan-Africans do is because they're targeting us.
So you're gonna sit here.
You dumb fuck.
You sit here with a straight face and
tell me you don't fuck. Pan-Africans are targeting Black Americans' money. That's why I care about what the fuck you guys are doing. If y'all weren't targeting us, I wouldn't fucking care about you. I wouldn't give a flying fuck about you. But all y'all do is target us. All y'all do is bash us. All y'all do is talk shit to us. And you think that we ain't gonna say nothing back to you? Of course I'm gonna say something back to you, you dumb bitch.
Did you say what I just said? I said, for the most part, even Pan-African, I tell you, stay your ass in America. And people like
that's not what you've been saying, Carla. When you've been on Bamani's platform, you said plenty of times we need to go to Liberia or Sierra Leone or anywhere else but America. You're a goddamn liar.
I think you misunderstood what I was saying, you know.
But you said it a lot. You said it a lot.
I never said Black people in America need to go to Liberia.
You said our best option. You did a show with Dinah Stamir talking about Liberia. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay. Oh yeah, but did I once say that Black people in America need to go?
Why would you say that would be a better fit for us if you didn't intend for us to fucking go there?
Let me ask you a question. Is going to Liberia and living there, is that two different things?
The point is that we don't care about going to Liberia, and we keep telling you in so many words and so many actions that we don't care.
What you're doing,
do you see a big roster of us following you right now? Who is following you right now?
Bottom line is, I got 17 people to go pay $1,000 to go on a tour to Liberia.
Oh, okay. They were ignorant, and like I said, those are the people that are being targeted. Those are the people, like I say, by Pan-Africans such as yourself, who target Black Americans and their money. Because for what reason do you have to even take them to Liberia? Why do you even have to go?
Let me ask you a question, right? If you have a product, right, and service, and somebody's interested in that product and service, right? And you say, hey, look, you would have a good time if you spent your vacation, because people have money. These Black people that we're talking about have money. We're not robbing nobody anything. You say we could stay in 4 hotels. We could do this. You got meals, everything included, transportation, everything like that. You can have a time of your life. We did everything. We went on boat rides, everything like that.
And how much money did they spend?
You're going to have a time of your life. And then some people say,
$5,000, didn't they?
Well, I have no idea. It's something like, but the bottom line is this: the people had stroked the money, stroked the check, and said, "Look, put the credit card and say, look, that's a steal. I'm gonna do it. I'm going on there. Plane tickets paid for. Baba, no issues, no nothing. Everybody got with their trip. They got
obviously those people that you took are highly lost. You know what I'm saying?
How are they highly lost? These are professional. These are professional people.
What 10, 20 years ago, we weren't having this conversation about us being African. And let me ask you this, Kala. Why, if we're African, why didn't they name us African in the beginning instead of calling us Negro, instead of calling us Black, instead of calling us colored,
I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something that to your point. That you said that this started with Jesse Jackson. I'm gonna show you how that was wrong. Hold up. Okay.
Are you talking about Prince Hall that brought the word in because he was sent? He's a
no Prince Hall term.
Are you talking about when he did a declaration and he was talking about the freed people that he was advocating for, or trying to free the slaves, and he brought that word?
No.
He brought the word into his conversation as far as
we had Black people in North America, right? Congregated. They knew they were from Africa, whether you was from Haiti, Haiti, whatever like this. You were from the Caribbean, everything like that. You were part of the African, because people like this. People have this idea. They hate the term African American because it's basically
because I was 16 when I was 16, I was a Black American, and that term somehow changed because of Jesse Jackson. It did not need to change. He's the one that promoted it. What are you talking about? He's the one that
Jackson said that, but this term goes back hundreds of years. Edward Wilmot Blyden used the term African American.
We weren't called African American. You had a handful of people that used that term because they were boule. They were from the Freemasonry. So they were Freemasons. They were what do you call that? Boule.
So the boule people.
I'm thinking of Prince Hall. Prince Hall is the first time that I've seen that word used back when. And that's when he did his declaration of conversation. He brought that word from somewhere, and he brought it from somebody, probably Britain, because they had colonized Africa. They chopped up Africa, and they named Africa Africa. It wasn't called Africa.
Okay. First of all, if you know anything, Africa was called Africa for thousands of years.
It was called Ethiopia. What are you talking about? And that A word. What are you talking about?
You know what Africanus means? A student and traveler of Africa.
It was called Ethiopia, and it was called that A word.
Leo Africanus studied in Africa. One night he was called Leo Africa. He was given the time. His name was Giovanni, but he was given the term Leo Africanus.
A white guy.
Traveled there. So this idea, so you guys try to say it was named after a white man, Leo Africanus.
A white guy.
No, it was not. He named himself after the continent. His name was Giovanni, Leo Giovanni. And when I
heard it was called Ethiopia at one point, and I heard it was called an A word.
Hold on, white people, Arabs called Africa Bilal el Sudan. That means land of the blacks.
Nonetheless, we're not the same.
So the bottom line is
we are multi-race, and I have always said this. I have never denied that I could have African blood in me. I said that that's not. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. I said that we're multi-race. If you ever listen to my video, you will hear me say we're multi-race. We're mixed people. We're not one thing. We're our own people at this point. And the reason why I say we are indigenous, because weren't we here when America was first built?
No.
Didn't we help build America? We are indigenous to America. We're not immigrants here.
We were brought here.
We are not immigrants here. So stop spreading misinformation and lying. We're not immigrants here.
We were brought here
when saying that we're immigrants. We've been here since the beginning of America, and that's why we can
like I said, you don't understand something. America is just a term given to the English colonists in America. You know what I'm saying?
Irregardless, it's our name now.
So in other words, you could basically say you're an American,
We've had that name for hundreds of years.
The term American
really changing our name to appease Africans. We're not changing our name to appease Pan-Africans. We're not doing any of that. You guys can go suck a dick, okay?
Well, the bottom line, hey, you could do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You can believe how you want to believe. But the bottom line, the winds are blowing in this direction, you know.
Anyways,
I don't see nobody.
You're not going to get a slew of us to be convinced that we need to be bothered with Africa.
I never said that.
Africa, because there's too much corruption over there.
Well, there's corruption here, you know.
There's too much scamming and shamming and shaming.
Well, the bottom line is, I said to black people here in America, right? Africa, for 99% of you, Africa is not the move, you know.
I'm not an African. You mean Americans not to move? 99% of Americans need not move. We're not African.
Well, nobody's saying you have to move.
Us. We don't have the culture of Africans. We don't have the language of Africa. We don't have the culture of Africa, and we do not understand damn God as Africans. So stop calling us Africans.
Is anybody telling you to go any place more righteous?
What?
Am I telling you need to go to Africa?
Of course, I'm not going. Have
I once told you need to go to Africa?
People have said that before. You're not the only person that hasn't said that. Many people have said and asked me, would I go to Africa? And I said, no, I've never been interested.
Yeah, the bottom line is, hey, look,
I've never been interested in going. I'm not going to force myself to now want to go somewhere because others are going.
The majority of black people in America never left their own city. Or we can't both talk at the same time.
I do not follow people like sheeple. I do not do
the bottom line is, hey, look, I gotta meet you for a second. The bottom line is this: nobody's telling the majority of black people that they gotta go anyplace. I never did. You know, so why would you stop saying that? I never said you gotta go to Africa, you need to go to Africa, you need to do this one night. I'm telling you right now, 90% of black people 90% of black people never left their city. So how they gonna fucking go to Africa? You know, that's just being real. So I don't know why these few black people that go to Africa and everything, y'all oh man, we're trying to drag y'all in chains to the mother continent.
Well, you need to talk to Dynasty and all these other people that's always
Dynasty is a grown ass man.
Don't you hear the platform that he has where he's always ridiculing and bashing us for not wanting to go, saying that we're self-haters if we don't care about going, saying all this bullshit to us repetitiously, bringing people on the platform talking shit about us every chance they get, and you don't say nothing. He has Afrodamas on the platform talking about we slaves, all kinds of stuff happens.
Yeah, but I did see you on Afrodamas' site buddying up with him because you're both.
At one point he was cool.
How was he cool?
At one point when he first came to YouTube,
I never liked Afrodamas. He
was different 5 years ago. He is not the same now, and he's changed.
The guy is motivated by hatred of Black America.
Well, yeah, he's motivated. And the reason being is because he hates Tariq Nasheed. he wants to.
He hates Black America.
Well, the reason why he's attacking us the way he is because of what Tariq Nasheed has been doing.
So what is the average Black person?
And I feel like Afrikaans should be attacking Tariq Nasheed. He should do a video specific to him.
The bottom line is Afrikaans does not like Black people in America for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know he doesn't, but he still wants to use and abuse us.
There's nothing I need to talk to him about whatsoever. If he hates Black people in America, there's nothing him and I need to discuss.
He still butters us up from time to time and gets donations from dumb birds that still would give him donations.
Bottom line is this: what I would question is, why is it that so many of you people that hate Pan-Africanism support it?
I told you why. If you let me speak, I'll tell you.
Are you that desperate? You that desperate to undermine Pan-Africanism that you would get with somebody like Afrikaans? Come on.
Only time I fuck with Afrikaans when he was telling the truth about the slave trade, and he told the truth, saying that they were involved in the slave trade because they were trying to make it seem like the white people kidnapped us. And he said, no. This is what really happened.
Only reason why Afrikaans says that did this. Let me tell you something, because you probably don't know. He only admits that because he wants to feel like he was part of the conqueror. They don't understand something. His tribe, whatever like that, even if you were trading in slaves, 1 minute you could be trading slaves, next minute you could be on a slave ship yourself. So the bottom line, Africa was losing all around on the slave trade. There was no winners. He tried to make it seem like he was part of the conquerors, and that he was doing business with the Europeans and as an equal basis. That was not an equal trade. The slave trade was coerced. So when he says that,
the reason why Africans really want to F with us because they feel like they didn't get their due, their just due off the slave trade, and they want to make up for what they lost.
The bottom line is Africa lost in the slave trade because
whose problem is that? Should we be concerned about that?
No, that's hold on. Remember something. You're talking to College Genesis, right? College Genesis. I talked about this for years, and the bottom line, I said that we owe Africa absolutely nothing. I said, we don't owe you anything. So therefore, there's a lot of Black people in America who go to Africa with this idea that we got to help build, we got to do this. And I'm like, no, we don't owe Africa anything. We don't owe.
That's how I feel. I feel like we owe nothing.
So we're on the same page. But
I feel like they have good intention overall for us.
Unfortunately, Black people in America, we're living in a global world, and so the bottom line, Africa, because of social media, Africans and Black people are going to cross paths. And the bottom line is this narrative of who speaks for the Black race is going to wage on. Right now, there's Nigerians are trying to make a pitch for the #1 Black spot in the world. And I'm seeing.
I'm not listening to no damn Nigerian. I'm not listening to
it doesn't matter what you think or whatnot. The bottom line, the world is going to react to who can get that message out there to the world. They don't
have the ability to lead us because they are wrapped in corruption. What are we gonna follow them for? Follow them to
I never said they're gonna lead us or whatnot, but the bottom line is they basically white people can use them to say, hey, look, it's like they use them in the UK. They invite Nigerians, the best Nigerians there, to tell the Black people that came from the Caribbean, look at these Nigerians, they're doing so well, they're not complaining and everything like that. And the Caribbean people are like, well, we've been here for a few generations. It's time for us to move on.
Nigerians are always getting kicked out on their ear, like they just recently in Turkey got deported, and they're crying and whining about why they got deported, over 100 of them. Just recently, everywhere they go, they get deported. So I don't know what you're talking about.
No, what I'm saying, my point I'm trying to make is this. Europeans are going to keep deporting, and there's a global coverage of Nigerians. Like, they don't talk about their 419 scams. They don't talk about the Nigerians involved in human trafficking.
But that's what we need to be talking about. That's my point.
If you feel that that's what you need to do, you should focus your time on that.
The reason why I do this, Carla, is because we have been putting Africans on a pedestal.
No, I have not been. Like I said,
many of y'all have been worshiping Africans for no reason.
I don't worship Africans because
I don't think that that's healthy for us to be worshiping.
Look, anybody who follows College Genesis knows
they have not done anything for us to merit us worshiping and reverencing.
I never said that we should worship Africans.
And I think it's a a big mistake for us to be running around worshiping them. That's why I point out what they have been doing wrong, because a lot of us don't know the history or the conditions of Africa because we don't look. I've been researching and looking and figuring out and understanding. Whoa, they have.
The bottom line is no sane black person is going to swap places with a Nigerian, and live in Nigeria. It's not going to happen.
Of course not. You'd be crazy.
So why are you worried about that thing? If somebody goes to Nigeria, it's
still not, you know why? Because it's not from a lack of trying that Dinah Samir still has shows talking about our better fit is Nigeria.
How many people actually take Dinah and says, okay, I listen to Dinah, I see the light, and when I see the light,
he still has a lot of people watching him, and a lot of people.
But it does not translate into that.
That are women that are matter. Under his spell. A lot of them. I don't know if you noticed, there are some women that are latent, silly women that would follow.
Oh, that's the whole thing. People are gauging their view of the world through social media platforms. It's not real life. Social media, YouTube is not real life. Real life is real life.
It's called personality worship is what is going on.
So I'm like this. All I'm saying for the last couple of shows I've been doing is saying that because of social media, people have this idea that you could talk to Black America any sort of way, and we don't say nothing back, whatever like that. That ends with me because I'm like this. I said,
you don't check Brandis though. Whenever he has shows that's criticizing us, you don't say a word.
Who?
What are you talking about?
Who, Brandon?
No, when Brandon goes up there and whoever else.
I do shows criticizing Black America. Like I did a show, and I will talk about that tonight. Black America, to me, are the biggest hypocrites on the planet, right?
Of course, everybody says that we're the scapegoat for everybody. Everything that's
I'm saying like this. This has nothing to do with Pan-Africanism or anything like that. Donald Trump says we got to protect Black jobs, whatever.
Exactly.
Jobs. And then the same Black people, right, who are complaining in Chicago about the illegals are taking our jobs, everything, said, "What mean Black jobs? We don't do what they do, we're not, So
they're simple-minded. Those people are simple-minded, not looking at the bigger picture.
There was a chorus
because they are taking our jobs, and it doesn't matter that he said.
What I'm saying is this though: wasn't enough Black people who pushed back and said, "Hey, you know something? Donald Trump was absolutely right. I know you don't like the guy, but that he was absolutely right about that." How can you talk about
to turn into a Trump page in a minute because I'm so upset with Biden. And in a little bit, I'm about to start talking more about Trump. You'll see. I'm transitioning.
The bottom line is what I'm saying is Black America, when we do these hypocritical things, for example, right? For example, even in the Pan-African world, I say, something, you guys, when you go to Africa, you always talk about Black unity, right? But the Black people in America that go to Africa, the one thing they never do is work together.
No, they don't. They
go there and they talk about, I'm a Ghanaian now. I'm a Gambian now.
That's laughable. That's what I'm saying. Like they lost their identity once they go to Africa. Suddenly they forget who they were. Like all these years, what were you? Why don't we have self-esteem suddenly? I don't get that part. Like all these years.
So all the stuff you're saying, I acknowledge that stuff. That's why I say, when you go any place, let me give you a perfect example, right? America, when it started expanding its manifest destiny, right, across this country in the 19th century, across the great continent, right? Now, people were Americans in places like Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and everything like that. But guess what? When they went out into the prairies and things like that, they still were Americans, They didn't say, okay, I'm in Nevada now. Let me give you, I'm still part of America. When they went to Hawaii, they're still American. It's a wave the American flag and stuff like this. You don't lose who you are just by locating.
I don't know what happened to us, but somehow the more talk, the Pan-African talk, and all these other talks have made our identity shaky.
Like that's why I say. That's why I'm against this idea of Black people called so aboriginals and stuff like this. I say like this: if you say, "Look, I know who I am and everything. I'm Black American, no matter where I go." You know,
yeah, I say I'm Indigenous Black American. I want to make a distinction.
I don't like the term.
Making a distinction
I don't use the term Indigenous.
I'm making a distinction from immigrants. I am not an immigrant.
All you have to do is say that my ancestors were here in America, and I have a
we have ancestors here and we have ancestors elsewhere. That's what I have always said. You only hear the word Indigenous and go stir crazy over hearing the word Indigenous, but you have not heard what I said before the word and after the word.
Bottom line is what I'm saying. When people say they're Indigenous, right? But I don't like when Africans use the term Indigenous, right? Because what it says is that one person has more right to the land than they do. And let me tell you something about this so-called Indigenous nonsense.
We do have rights to this land because we.
No. What I'm saying is, you have rights, but you have to. It's not written in stone.
I'm not saying I have ownership over the land. I'm saying I have rights here, and that I'm not an immigrant.
Just say. Because of my ancestors, I have a certain birthright.
I have a birthright, and that's the thing
if you say I have a birthright over people who just came here and whatever like that.
That's all you say. You have not been listening to me. I say our birthright is what is the thing that keeps us glued and keeps us a leg up a little bit.
Just say I have a birthright. And other people that come here and whatnot, they're coming over here as immigrants.
I'm making a distinction. I don't want to be confused because other Africans and other Caribbeans are using our names now. Haven't you noticed?
But the bottom line is
they're using African American and using a Black American term. So if they're using it, then that means we ain't got no identity.
I'm like this. You know, if you basically Black people in America really will unify and love themselves, this wouldn't be a problem. The problem is Black people in America don't love themselves. So bottom line is they let anybody come. I
wouldn't say all of us don't love ourselves, because the ones that are really about that business are not on YouTube and they're living their life and they're doing fine. They're doing really good. There are a lot of successful stories out here. It's just that the ones that speak the loudest are the ones that are the most foolish.
I'm like this. My whole thing is, you know, I know my history. I know I come from, and that basically is when I basically see successful Black people, I identify with Benjamin Banneker, Lewis Latimer, and all these famous Black inventors and stuff like this. And the people that John Johnson that founded Ebony Magazine, he makes me feel proud. Reginald Lewis, the world's first Black billionaire, he makes me feel proud, you know, who I am, whatnot, because he comes from the same sort of circumstances and background that I have, you know. Now, it does not mean I can't look at somebody from Jamaica or whatever like that and say, I appreciate him, but I appreciate a little more when people are coming from my similar background in my culture.
Speaking of Jamaican, are you and Bamani still doing shows or no?
I'm just doing my show right here. I do this and I do my thing. So
I just happened to find you by accident. I don't know
how. I like I said.
Because I didn't even know you had a platform until I just.
If he calls me and he wants to do a show on a specific topic, I'll do it. You know,
but you want to grow this platform for what you're doing now? Or you're gonna?
Yeah, I just want to grow this platform so I can have my voice out there and set the record straight on a lot of stuff like this, because I don't believe in this open-ended Pan-Africanism stuff. You know, I think it's got.
Let me ask you this: Who do you think is a decent Pan-African besides yourself? Since you're saying you are, who else out there are?
I don't know. See, the thing is, right now, I don't even know what Pan-Africa really is. To tell you the truth, you know, I really don't know what it is anymore. You know, it's like, okay, people call themselves Pan-African. Pan to me just means you believe in the unity of Black people and stuff like that. But the thing is, though, when the early Pan-Africanist thing was created, it was created by people outside the African continent, you know, in places like Paris, London, New York, Garvey. The Pan-African over the last 50 years have been centered on the continent, right? Indigenous Africans, right? And that's where it stalled, right? Because the Africans basically found that instead of doing the Pan-Africanism on the continent, they still kept the same ties to their former colonial masters and stuff, you know? And so the movement died. When we talk about Pan-Africanism, right? Just like I look at the model of Pan-asianism, right? They had the Bandung Conference of 1955. That was Pan-asianism, right? and showed you how Asians like culturally hundreds of years ahead of black people, right? They said, look, you know, we got to build Asia up, right? Europeans dominate the region. They control the shipping. They control the industries, everything. How do we change that? They control the logistics, everything like that. Billions and billions of dollars leave Asia every year because, you know, we have to educate our people how to run modern businesses and everything. And so all these countries got together, right? And said, okay, Singapore, you're good at this. You could be a logistics center, you know. South Korea, you could be a manufacturing center. You know, Thailand, you could do this, like this. And they coordinated together. And Japan was invited, was a highly industrialized country. You could provide capital, you know, and that's what happened. But the
How do you feel
Africans,
about Kenya? What's going on in Kenya? Did you
30 years, in 30 years, Asia caught up with the Europe and passed Europe. Singapore's GDP passes former master Britain. You know, Singapore has the highest GDP,
yeah, I heard they're doing
GDP in the world. And so the bottom line, how they do that? The bottom line is the Pan-asianism.
They did enslave the Uyghurs though too. To be fair,
well, no, I'm talking about the Chinese. Well, I don't know, but that's when you use low terms like enslave. Chinese
they forced labor. The Uyghurs.
Forced labor is not slavery. That's another thing. Forced labor is not slavery. You don't think
forced labor is slavery?
Forced labor is not slavery. There's a difference. Labor, coercion.
Well, I bet you if you ask those people, they would tell you they're enslaved because they're doing it against their will.
Because why? When people do that, that's in front of my ancestors in America were enslaved. You know, they had no rights. They didn't have a period certain. The Uyghurs and all these other people could easily walk away from the situation.
No, they can't walk away. They're like in those concentration camps. What are you talking about?
But even if they're in concentration camps and whatnot, it's still not the same thing as somebody being stripped from their native land and take their land and culture and names.
I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it's still on
nowhere near the same thing. Nowhere near the same thing. That's why I said another thing is people just basically use terms like slavery to like this. And what happens is black people automatically jump up and basically, oh, we got to help these people over here. And their situation is not like ours. Like the Irish were not enslaved, you know, they were indentured, you know. And the bottom line is, you got people working a 9-to-5 job called about this is slavery. No, it's not. That's making a mockery of what my ancestors went through. You know, well, slavery is slavery, labor abuse. Even with the British using Indian labor to build us railways and everything, contract labor and prison labor to build railways. That was bad, but that was not slavery. You know, it's a different thing. You know, you can make somebody work. Slavery is not just work. Slavery is about possessing someone's soul. You know, you own that person. You have a right to his body. You could do whatever they want to his body.
The Uyghurs are getting stripped of their Muslim identity, though, and
that's unfortunate. But the bottom line is it's not the same thing. That's why I said when people basically just jump out there and just the Uyghurs, when I don't know enough about the situation to basically warrant a thing, and then there would be a human rights.
It is a human rights violation that's going on. That's what it is.
There would be a human rights council and stuff like that if it was actual slavery.
You know how China is. They're not listening to nobody. They don't let nobody regulate them. That's why they rolling.
The point I'm trying to make was I was talking about Asia's rise to power post World War II, and Africa did not rise to power post World War II because Africa's have divisions based on tribalism and regionalism. And stuff like this.
They're too content. They don't want to sacrifice for nothing except for what Kenya's doing lately. And I wonder if that's going to spread. But other than that, they don't tend to ever want to sacrifice for nothing. That's why they have not advanced. And it's their fault. It's not nobody else's fault.
They sacrifice. But my whole trying to make is what you have is in Kenya is a bloated bureaucracy. Everybody works for the government. The government's the biggest employer. There's no private sector. They bring in the Chinese, Indians, everybody else to do everything you see modern in Africa is given to you by Indians, Lebanese, everything like that. The Africans have no stake in the modern economy of Africa. That's the sad part about it.
But I don't feel sorry for them though, because that's the decision that they made. So
my whole thing is I know that, right? I know that 30 years ago, I thought that Black people in America and Africans could work together to like that. In 30 years, after 30 years of doing this since 93, I have not seen any major progress. Now you got Black people that went over there in 94 in South Africa, in 06, Blacks Without Borders series, when the Black people in South Africa with money, venture capital, went over, did pretty well. And when that, but on the scale that's going to make an actual difference on the continent, that has not happened. And we do got Black professionals that could basically turn around. But the bottom line is the Africans don't want. That's why I said, I always ask the question, look, Africans, you say we're all Africans, right? But it can't be all you guys coming here getting in America. Like Africans will say in America that Black people ought to fight for immigrants' right. First of all, that's not my fight, immigrants and everything.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that, because so many people.
That's not my fight. And also, so Africans also.
They want us to do their fight. They want us to do their sacrifice too. That's what they want.
Yeah, Africans believe in this global citizen crap, They'll spend 30 years in a country as a student, Go to each country, sucking off the benefits and everything. Like, I mean, when that Ukraine situation happened and Russia made Ukraine and people had the refugees, they had one lady in there that was she was in her 50s. She was a student, right? She was a student. She was a grandmother.
What? Well, this lady said, Esther, she's from South Africa. No, she's not originally from South Africa. She's from Uganda. But she was saying that when immigrants come abroad, they're there to take. They're not there to build. They're not there to help. They're there to take. And that is the overall mindset of a lot of Africans. Not all, but plenty have that mindset.
So my whole thing is, the reason why I'm pushing back now is because I see Black people in America make an honest attempt to come to Africa and build. And then you got Africans saying, oh, calling us names like colonizers and stuff like that. And I said, wait a minute, we're putting our trust in you. And next thing you know, you're coming over here telling us we're different. You don't even call the Lebanese colonizers, but yet you're calling us colonizers and everything, Baruti goes, optimized global lineage. Look, Baruti is one of these fantasy pan-africanists, and he basically talking about people. I've been studying this for 30-something years, and I've never seen it materialize. I don't care how many books were written about Ubenzi and Ubuntu and all this kind of stuff like that. I've never seen Africans put it into actual practical thing where Black people in America could get involved and say like this. It just does not happen.
It's never going to happen to the point where it's going to be fair. They're always going to leave it to where it's always a risk for us, a gamble for us. And that's why I say, why even deal with any of it?
Well, bottom line is I'm like this. I have African business partners in Liberia and Angola and stuff like that. And the bottom line, we know we're on the fringe. We know that, I know that I'm not a fool. I know I'm on the fringes of society and everything. I realize that it may never happen. It may never happen. It may never take off, whatever like that. But by some miracle, if it does happen, I want to be in a position where I could, do something. But the bottom line is, I am not going to tell Black people, take your life savings. Like I know people at $100,000. I want to go to Nigeria. Don't do that. Don't do it. That $100,000 will be gone within a year.
For real. And then they'll come back broke or homeless, worse.
And so the bottom line, I tell people all the time, no, don't do it.
I do care about what I do. I do care about sparing people. I do care about keeping that information out there, because we don't talk among ourselves like this hardly. I
had a guy, and a BAO guy, a good brother of mine, whatnot. He just thought he was a thing like that. He broke away from me. And now he went to South Africa for first time. I can't get a hold of him, and he said he got some investment partners in Tanzania about to go there. I said, dude, don't do it. And he sent me some flyer, some business card. I said, dude, if I had a dime for every time an African gave me a flyer about some business conference, or they got all this, they always say they got all these gold and diamonds and opportunity. I said, dude, man, I see it. I've been hearing this for 30 years, and I never seen anything ever materialize. All the thing materializes is your money is going to be milked out of you, and you're not going to have anything. As simple as that. And I don't know. He won't return my calls because he knows I was right. I know he lost money.
And he probably lost a lot of money. Probably crying.
So the bottom line is this: I Kyle Genesis, basically tell people, don't be a fool, don't be a fool, and everything like that. If you're going to go to the continent, man, we should have high level meetings with the government. We should go act as one voice.
How can you do that when the government's corrupt? I don't get that.
Well, it's not well. That not all African countries are corrupt. You know, there's countries that are not. Botswana is one of the most uncorrupt countries. So is Rwanda. Those countries are not corrupt. You know, those are really good countries. You know, to invest in because they really they have so much transparency. Botswana have a thing where investors could access the government and say, have you been solicited for a bribe or anything like that or coerced and everything? You can go right to the government. They'll investigate it right then and there. They crack down. They have zero tolerance for corruption and kickbacks and stuff like that.
Who runs Botswana? Because I don't know enough about Botswana.
Botswana is a really good country.
Is it ran by white people?
It's run by black people, the Tswana people. You know, it's a black country. You know, it's a black economy. Black country is a black success story in Africa.
Oh, that must be the only one besides Rwanda then, because I have never.
Botswana is a black state, and the closest thing, what I call it, African, you know, a black African state, you know, and stuff like that. But the thing is, the only thing about Botswana is the reason why it's so successful is because they're a homogeneous population. There's one ethnic group, the Tswanas, and they only have like a population of 2 million people. You know, so they was able to build that sort of economy. They don't got like 50 million people and stuff like that, you know, everything. It's only 2 million people, and they built a middle class. So there's a lot of black people from America that live there, and they do pretty well, you know, live a modest middle class life. They got a lot of black software engineers that went there and got government contracts and stuff like that. So like that, but like I said, between South Africa, Botswana, and everything, you got black people from America who get in like in the pharmaceutical industry and stuff like that, in the medical industry. Black people in America are doing really well in those countries and everything because they got governments that, you know, they got in where they fit in.
Well, you know that they were bigging up Kenya. Now look at Kenya now.
Kenya is a good country, but the bottom line is, you know, it's still got a colonial legacy, you know.
No, I'm talking about the protest that's going on right now and all the corruption that's going on.
Well, actually, what it was is the government tried to attack the Ruto, basically rescinded that tax, right? And the young people, Gen Zs, still, when you got a large number of people who just want to riot and ruckus and everything, where it's going to end, and the soldiers and the police are shooting people, killing them in the streets.
I know, and the protests are still going on. I mean, how do you feel about how that's going to?
Well, it's like this. My whole thing is, if black people in America, right, don't understand that these countries are volatile. You know, even a country like Liberia, volatile shit can happen. You know, Sierra Leone, that's a volatile country. Just last year, you know, the people were rioting over rice prices and stuff like that, you know, and people like inflation. When global inflation hit, Sierra Leone said, I can't even afford a bottle of ketchup, you know, and they were like rioting and stuff like that. Dinus was there at the same time, you know, and I was like, you all right, Dinus? Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. He was there. I don't understand why they don't get caught up though while they're there.
So I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna tell nobody to go to a country that's volatile, you know. And these countries are volatile. Volatile. You gotta look at that. I don't care how much I like a country when I put my people first. If your country is dirty and corrupt and everything like that, I'm gonna say, nah, don't stay away from that, you know. Baruti says, Colin, will you comment on the 21st vision of Pan-Africa? I don't know if there is for the book. I never read that book, right? But all I know is if the 21st century is like the 19th century, not a damn thing has happened. Because a lot of the people that call themselves Pan-Africanists have no power. And when they do get in power or whatnot, you know, it's business as usual. So I've been through this all the time. Oh, we're going to have Pan-Africanism. Basically, it's like those of us in the West, this is the African version of Pan-Africanism, like the Dr. Arcana chick. You know,
get me started on
we use Black America, right, to say all the problems that we're facing in Africa are a result of colonialism, not cronyism in Africa and stuff like this, you know, and corruption and everything like that. It's colonial. And Dr. Arcana never once mentioned the most important thing that damaged Africa was a horrible transatlantic slave trade. She just jumps right to colonialism. If you look at colonialism, right?
Yeah, because you know why she don't talk about slave trade? Because she doesn't feel sorry about that part. I think her family blood ties is towards slave trade.
No, so my whole thing with her is
she's a crook.
She talks about colonialism, right? But when you really look at it, right, what built modern Africa? What built the railways? You know,
probably Chinese.
The Europeans built it. You know, the colonials built it. What built the highway system? What built the government, the institutions? All they did was hand it over to Africans, right? Africans didn't have to build any, except for Liberia. Africans basically handed governments over. And you look at the countries, the way they left them, the countries were beautiful. And you look at friggin' Kenya in the 1960s, it was beautiful. Mozambique in the 1960s, beautiful. You know, South Africa in the 1960s, beautiful. You know, all these countries were beautiful. Even Accra, Ghana, you know, Jamestown was beautiful. The Africans take it over. Lagos, Nigeria, right? Lagos was once Ibadan. Lagos was beautiful. Victoria Island, beautiful.
Do you know that guy Baruti from whatever his name is? Because he always
comes to my shows, but
he always follows you around. He really thinks that you have a great influence or something to us. He's always following you around. I really would like to know what his spill is.
Kazorian says the truth. White people create, we destroyed. That's the truth, you know. I will let Kazorian get on the show. Let's see what.
Yeah, what's up, Kazorian? Tell us about what's going on in Kenya if you're still there. I don't know if you are or not.
So the bottom line is this. So with Dr. Arikano always talk about colonialism, and then they got black people in America. Yeah, colonialism. No. Colonialism is not making in the Congo. You got Africans who are taking their cut from the coltan and cobalt, you know, industry, and we got 4-year-olds out there which should be in school, thousands of them out there digging through coltan rocks and everything like that, and giving some to the Chinese and Indians and everything like that. And the African leaders in the country look the other way. But you look at the Congo, they're blaming all their problems on Paul Kagame in Rwanda. And so the bottom line is this. And when I start talking about these nuances in Africa, people don't like it, you know. And I got a lot of people that from the Congo, right, that used to follow me that hate me now when I did like, Kala, aren't your ancestors from the Congo? Yeah. Well, we got to wipe out the let's do that. Don't get me into I'm civilized. America made me civilized, you know. My solution to everything ain't taking the machete out and friggin' butchering 100,000 people, you know. That's not gonna do anything for me. So that's why I said, well, there's the African American and there's that savage mentality that exists in Africa. I'm sorry to say that, you know. We learn like this. There's never, in spite of all our problems and whatnot, 800,000 Tutsis were massacred in Rwanda in 1994. We have gang violence and everything like that, but nothing's done. We never had mass graves where you see body parts laying all over the ground and everything like that. It does not exist in Black America. So on the scale of civilization, we're way ahead of most of the people on the African continent. I just thought our version of civilization, right, would be a template of what Africans could model themselves out of. A Pan-African state where people see themselves as Black. We could build a modern state and stuff like this and everything. Obviously, I'm wrong. You know, Africans would much rather fight over tribalism and stuff like that, and greed and everything like that. So I tell people all the time, you know, are you careful about where you go in Africa? That tribalism shit is real. You know, tribalism is real. And so yes, so I basically tell people all the time, I'm not the one to tell people, oh, just go to Africa, no. Most of these countries in Africa, I'll say, look, I wouldn't send my worst enemy to. You know?
Well, you change your disposition now, but you have said it plenty of times prior to, because I've been listening to you.
I say, when I'm talking, let me say something. I basically, if I talk about going to Africa, I'm talking about the people who have the ability. You know, this. Let me show you about who I talk. Let me see. I'm gonna show you about who I'm talking about. These are the people I want to reach. That goes to. These are the people I want to go to the African continent. You know. see if I can find this. All right. I'm gonna stop for a second and play a video.
States. All the big businesses tend to be owned and controlled by whites, and you will hardly find one owned by a black person. Anytime blacks in the US have tried to establish themselves throughout time, they're always being suppressed, stopped, and silenced in one way or another. Despite being oppressed for as long as we can recall, the blacks have still not given up. They keep on fighting and striving to the extent that we now have black billionaires in the USA. They run multiple businesses and employ thousands of people too. In this video, we are going to be seeing the 20 biggest and richest black-owned businesses in the United States of America in 2022. 20. Salamander Hotels and Resorts. This business is owned by Sheila Johnson, who is also a co-founder of Black Entertainment Television, BET. Salamander Hotels and Resorts is a 168-room luxury hotel, resort, and spa located in the Virginia countryside. This business generates about $220 million in revenue annually and has over 2,000 employees. The hotel is built on a 340-acre property and boasts a 230,000 square foot spa with many outdoor activities, such as hiking, ziplining, and horseback riding. The resort took 10 years to build, finally opened in August 2013. 19. Devon Industrial Group. With CEO David Burnley as leader, this company employs over 70 employees and generates a whopping $234 million in revenue. It is a construction company located in Michigan and specializes in construction projects in various sectors, including commercial, healthcare, industrial, and educational. The Devon Industrial Group's main target market for its services is across the Midwestern states of the United States, with the headquarters in Detroit, Michigan. 18. Georgetown Metal Processing. This black-owned business is headed and run by Kirk Lewis with a team of over 30 people. This business generates approximately $235 million in revenues. It is a steel processing service center, which specializes in blanking and warehousing. Its headquarters is located in Georgetown, Kentucky. They produce aluminum, flat-rolled steel, cold-rolled steel, coated and exposed steel products. It boasts an 80,000 square foot facility, which is climate controlled due to the nature of their work. Now's the time to like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel. Yes, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get alerts when we upload interesting videos like this one. Let's get back to our video. 17. Bird Electric. This company is led by Dale Lefebvre and employs over 580 people. It generates $238 million in annual revenues. It was founded in 2004 and is a leading full-service electric company. Services provided by the company include transmission, maintenance, instrumentation and electrical construction, automation, and storm restoration. Bird Electric operates in over 10 states in the United States. 16. Baldwin Richardson Foods. This is another black-owned business with Eric Johnson as CEO. Generating a whopping $252 million annually, this company employs over 350 people. It is a leading custom ingredients manufacturer for the food and beverage industry. It is a family-owned company originally founded as Baldwin Ice Cream in Chicago, Illinois in 1921. In 1997, 5 years after current CEO Eric Johnson purchased the company, Baldwin Ice Cream Company purchased Richardson Foods, creating Baldwin Richardson Foods. Over the next 20 years, the retail business grew to become a custom ingredients manufacturer, making many kinds of liquid products for the food industry, including condiments, sauces, and syrups. 15. Adams Communication and Engineering Technology. This company, which generates a hopping $253 million in revenue, is headed by Charles Adams as founder and CEO. It was founded in 1999 in Maryland and employs over 380 people. It is a leading technology company providing services for government defense, intelligence, and other federal agencies of the U.S. The company provides products and solutions in information systems, healthcare, aerospace, and electronics. 14. Millennium Steel of Texas. We can't talk of Black-owned businesses without talking about Millennium Steel of Texas. This company employs just 86 people, but generates a hopping $266 million in revenues headed by Andrea Jackson. It was founded in San Antonio, Texas by Henry Jackson in 2005. Millennium Steel of Texas is a steel company providing automotive-grade outer body steel sheets to automakers across the state of Texas. Their services include steel processing, warehousing, and storage. 13. Global Automotive Alliance Corporation. This company, led by the founder and CEO William Pickard, is an
I need your help, and here's why. I'm on a mission to recover $10 million within the next 12 months to American patriots that have unrightly been robbed of these.
American Black-owned business that employs over 1,500 people and generates over $275 million in revenues. Global Automotive Alliance is a holding company of many different companies originally founded in 1989. It is a consolidation of logistics and automotive manufacturing companies with 8 plants in the United States and Canada. It supplies the top 3 United States automakers: Ford, General Motors, and Fiat Chrysler. Also, it supplies to other global companies such as Boeing, Mercedes-Benz, Starbucks, and Home Depot. It seems there is so much money in the steel business because the next Black-owned business on our list is still in the steel industry. 12. Millennium Steel Service. This is a sister company to the Millennium Steel of Texas and still run by the same CEO, Andrea Jackson. It employs only 51 people but generates over $312 million in revenue. It is an automotive steel processing and warehousing company based in Princeton, Indiana. It provides warehousing and supply chain management, including inventory management, inspection, slitting, and information technology system services. 11. Fair Oaks Farms. This is another Black-owned business, but this time around, we are in the food industry. This business generates $342 million in revenues with an employee count of 257. It is headed by Michael Thompson, who acts as President and Chief Executive Officer. It is a food services company which produces fresh, ready-to-cook, and fully cooked beef, pork, and poultry products. Products offered by the company include sausages, cured meats, smoked meats, and canned meats. It was founded in 1985 in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. Fair Oaks Farms distributes its products to a variety of national and international restaurant chains and food companies. 10. Hightower's Petroleum Co. This business is in the oil sector. And you know when there is oil involved, there is also much money involved. This company was founded by Stephen Hightower, and he is still the acting CEO. His business generates a whopping $435 million in revenues, alongside his team of 52 employees. It is a petroleum products distribution company, which he founded in 1982. Coming from a family of entrepreneurs, Hightower built the company from humble beginnings to a well-established business through persistence, drive, and determination. It is a family business providing services in bulk fuel delivery, HPC fleet cards, inventory management, emergency fuel, and supply chain management. 9. Urban One. This company has over 1,000 employees and generates $440 million in revenue. Its CEO is Alfred Liggins III. Based in Silver Spring, Maryland, this company is a publishing and broadcasting company primarily providing content aimed at the African American community. Self-titled as the leading voice speaking to Black America, Urban One has been the largest distributor of urban content in the United States since 1980. It is the largest Black-owned broadcasting company in the USA, with 53 radio stations, cable network TV called One, digital media company called i1, and news provider, News One, all under its belt. 8. The Anderson-DeBose Company. This business generates over $500 million in revenues. To be specific, it generates $703 million in revenues with just 543 employees, thanks to the good job of its leader and CEO Warren Anderson. Launched in 1991, the Anderson-DeBose Company is a distribution company providing logistics services to McDonald's and Chipotle fast food restaurants in the states of Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and West Virginia in the United States. Their service roster includes transportation of groceries, Happy Meal toys, paper products, dairy products, frozen meat and fish, and other food products. 7. Thompson Hospitality. This company employs over 6,000 Americans and generates $760 million in revenue and is headed by CEO Warren Thompson. This company is a food and facilities management company providing hospitality services in the United States. It is the largest minority-owned food service and one of the largest retail food and facilities management companies in the United States. Thompson Hospitality Corporation was originally founded as a restaurant company in 1992 and has now branched out to offer all services of the hospitality industry. In 2010, the company was awarded the Black Enterprise Award of Company of the Year. In 2017, Washington Business Journal ranked it #1 minority-owned company. In 2019, they were again recognized by Washington Business Journal as the largest independent employer company. 6. Bridgman Foods. Apparently one of the biggest employers when it comes to black-owned businesses. It employs over 20,000 Americans and generates $870 million in revenues. Its founder and CEO is Ryan Bridgman. Located in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, Bridgman Foods is a part of the fast food and quick service restaurants industry. Formerly known as Manna Incorporated, Bridgman Foods was founded in 1988 in Louisville, Kentucky. Currently, Bridgman Foods affiliates operate 139 Wendy's restaurants, 27 Golden Corral Buffet and Grill restaurants, 83 Fazoli's restaurants, 6 Mark's Feed Store restaurants, 7 Blaze Pizza restaurants, Napa River Grill, Jimmy John's, and the Lavra Bar. 5. Modular Assembly Innovations. This business generates about $1.4 billion in revenues with over 259 employees. It is headed by no other than the great Billy Vickers. Modular Assembly Innovations is one of the United States' largest black-owned businesses. Based in Dublin, Ohio, Modular Assembly Innovations is the parent corporation of a group of certified minority-owned companies part of the machinery manufacturing industry. Modular Assembly Innovations companies include Great Lakes Assemblies, Gulf Shore Assemblies, Indiana Assemblies, and North American Assemblies. These are all award-winning, Tier 1 suppliers of automotive parts to customers in both the United States and abroad. 4. Coca-Cola Beverages Florida. Troy Taylor is chairman and CEO of Coca-Cola Beverages Florida, LLC, which was established as an independent, privately held Coca-Cola bottler on May 29, 2015. Coca-Cola Beverages. This company generates over $1.3 billion in revenue with its over 4,500 employees. It has over 18 million consumers across 47 counties of the state of Florida. This includes all the major metropolitan markets of Jacksonville, Miami, Orlando, and Tampa. Coca-Cola Beverages Florida LLC, or Coke Florida, as it's known for short, manufactures, sells, and distributes over 600 products of the giant Coca-Cola Company, as well as many other partner companies. This company has received a number of awards, including the Minority Business Enterprise Supply.
Why don't you own commercial real estate? Yes, you. Why don't you own commercial property? After all,
Supplier of the Year Class 4 honor in 2020. 3. Bridgewater Interiors LLC. Ron Hall Jr. is the founder, president, and chief executive officer of Bridgewater Interiors LLC. Bridgewater is an automotive interiors manufacturing firm specializing in just-in-time assembly, sequencing, and delivery of seating systems. This company generates over $1.9 billion in revenues and employs over 2,000 Americans. The company does assembly for 15 car models belonging to 4 automotive manufacturers. Bridgewater Interiors has 4 facilities at its 2 locations, 3 in Michigan and 1 in Alabama. Bridgewater Interiors LLC has received a number of accolades throughout the years. In 2013, the U.S. Department of Commerce, through its Minority Business Development Agency, named Bridgewater Interiors its Manufacturer of the Year. General Motors, Honda, and Ford have all recognized Bridgewater Interiors for their quality and service. 2. Act One Group. This company generates a whopping $2.8 billion in revenues, having about 2,500 employees. Its president and its CEO is Janice Bryant Howroyd. Act One Group is a privately held corporation based in Torrance, California, founded in 1964. The Act One Group, stylized as Act One Group, is a global enterprise that provided employment, workforce management, and procurement solutions to a wide range of industries. Act One is the largest debt-free woman-owned, minority-owned workforce management company in the United States. Act One is a global leader in the human resources industry and currently operates in 19 countries around the world with 17,000 clients and over 2,600 employees worldwide. The CEO, Janice Bryant Howroyd, was awarded winner of the 2016 Peter Yesna Staffing Leadership Award for all her efforts. 1. Worldwide technology. We are finally here. Topping the list of the 20 biggest Black-owned companies in the United States is Worldwide Technology Solution. This company generates about $11.2 billion in annual revenue. It employs over 5,000 American citizens. Billionaire David Stewart is the founder and CEO of this great establishment. It was founded in 1990, and it provides supply chain technology to 45% of Fortune 500 companies. The company provides information technology and software solutions. Some of the world's most recognizable brands are Worldwide Technologies customers, namely Boeing, Cisco, AT&T, Microsoft, and the U.S. Air Force. That was it for the biggest and richest Black-owned businesses in the USA. Which one would you invest in? Let us know in the comments section below.
Wow, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I never heard of none of those companies.
Of course, because we spend all our time. That's a problem. We Black people spend all their time whining and about racism, white supremacy, and blah blah blah. Now I played that video on Bamani's show, and people are like, "What is that? These are boule black." So we don't even get behind. Okay, now if we're gonna do anything, these people should be our leaders. These people should be the ones that's leading us and building and stuff like this. You know, that's how you have pride. That's how you show Africans. Yeah, we're not playing games. I show this to Africans. I know they watch this channel. They watch me and tell them, look, we're not some slouches over here, and that makes me proud. Every one of them, names like Johnson, Baker, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's Black America, and that's Black America. That's a Black America. There's no Ubuntu that did that. That's typical, the resilience of our people in America that made these businesses. And there's a lot of other businesses that didn't make the top 20. There's plenty of businesses that like, let's say the next 40 that are doing really well too. May not be as big as those top 20, but there's everything. They didn't show the McKinsey group,
Yeah, whenever you hear Black businesses, you hear that they're fading, and you only hear restaurants, and they always put us in the category of just having like restaurants, barbecue spots.
Yeah, the bottom line, yes. So Black people believe that, they believe that. We believe that. And so therefore a lot of Africans come over here, oh, y'all ain't got nothing. And I showed them, oh, wow. And they're like, wow. Yeah. See, these are the type of people that could come to the African continent and take over. But there's no pipeline to them because Africa is not ready for businesses like this. That's just the plain out truth.
Well, my phone's about to die because I was kind of low battery. So I wanted to let you know I wasn't scared to come up, but
It's all good. It's all good. We're glad to have you. Welcome anytime.
Okay.
Like I said, anybody, like I said, anybody wants to come on this show, you're more than welcome. If you don't have to always agree with me. I like a spirited debate and discussion, you know. And so the bottom line is, it keeps me on my toes. I know what I'm talking about, and I can defend my position.
I might come back later if I charge my phone. But have a nice night. It's really a lot of fireworks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be on that much longer. I'm gonna see if anybody else want to come up.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and close out. All right, All right, so that's what we're talking about tonight. You know, Brucey says, Carla, give me your past observations. Some African nations, like are stable. You advocate African. The bottom line is this: if there's opportunity, I would say go there. But obviously, you know, between Africans, right, not being serious about developing their continent, we can't. Like I said, the burden can't be all on us. You know, Africans got to meet us halfway. You got to put together a delegation and government officials on a high level and say, we're ready to do business, everything. This is how you're going to be protected. This is how you can make money. Boom, 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 boom. Africans don't want to do that, you know. They got their hand out, you know, and what can we do and everything like that, you know. The bottom line is we, Black people, those type of Black people, you don't become a $1 billion entity, corporation, by dealing with children, you know. And the African got to get out of that childish mind. That may work with the Indians, the Chinese, and everything like that, you know. When it comes to us, no. We expect people to be business people and know what you're talking about and come and meet us halfway. Moses West is a Black American African. Moses, military veteran, war general, engineer. I mean, U.S. Okay, that's good. You know, there's a lot of Black people in America that are doing really good things in America and stuff like that. We're not a bunch of bums. We're not gangbangers and all this kind of stupid stuff that a lot of Africans believe. That's another thing. How are you going to talk Pan-Africanism? Africans are told, oh, stay away from those Black people in America. Do they want those top 20 Black businessmen? Should they stay away from them? You know, should they stay away from those people who built a massive? Those type of Black people look at this stuff like this and listen to ignorant Africans like, what the heck? You know, see, I'm trying to save Pan-Africanism because a lot of what's said in the Pan-African world is like that the Black people I'm trying to reach out to are the Black people that are successful, the professionals, the business people and stuff like that. Those are the people that's going to save us, save our race and everything, and build something. Because we got the Chinese we're going up against, the Indians we're going, the Europeans, all these people that we're going to go up. We're fighting for our very lives here. You know, unfortunately, we got people on both sides, Black America and Africa, that is acting like children, acting foolish and everything. They're asleep and childish and buck dancing in a dangerous world where you really could be eliminated, you know, process of elimination. You know, if you don't have any will to live and everything, you think it's just a joke and everything. Like Garvey said, you will die. I don't want to die. I don't want to see my people die, you know. And the bottom line is those of us who basically want to build and like that, we're going to get behind the people that's building. You know, I showcase, you know. And she said, do Africans really call us Black Americans, African Americans colonized in Africa? I don't know what the word, I mean, anytime anybody uses the word us colonizing Africa is you know, that's not even worth discussing. If that comes out of your mouth and everything like that, then we can't have a discussion. You got so-called Pan-Africans using terminology like, oh, you guys are coming over as colonizers. I don't care what we do in Africa. We can never be colonized what's already our birthright in Africa. We have a birthright in Africa. So it should be easy for us and everything, but it's not. And so the bottom line, what I'm trying to say is if Africa doesn't want to play with us, hey, look, you know, we'll be good in America. That's the way it is. We'll be fine. You know, we're building multi-million-dollar, multi-billion-dollar businesses here. So we don't really need Africa. We're just saying it would just make sense if we could build with Africa and everybody will benefit. But the African mind doesn't think like that. The African mind doesn't lack the intelligence to think on that level. That's just the truth. You know, it's a sad situation, but it is. And we got, like I said, one of my first shows I did was we have a first world mindset, right? We think about planning and everything. they have a not just third world, but a freaking fourth world where everything is about surviving and everything and desperation. So these two things got to reconcile with each other. I'm sitting there talking to African. He's on a level like, oh man, we're about to starve and everything. And I'm like this, these black people in America are not starving, you know? And we want to build something. Let's build something and everything like that, you know? Let's get into business, everything. Everything is, to the Africans, like everything is dire. And when people are dire like that, you can't do business with a hungry person. It's like when you go shopping, you always go shopping when you're full. Because if you don't, you're going to go there and spend more than what you're supposed to. You know, so how are we at Black America colonizing when we're helping Africans? Yeah. Yeah, we're not colonizers. Anybody who's used that term as a race trader, you know? We're trying to actually make a serious effort. Then when people if the right Pan-Africans gets out there, like my little feeble attempt with this show, hopefully I can inspire other people to do what I do. When you talk about Pan-African, everything in Black America what a lot of Pan-Africans do is they make a mistake of making it seem like Black America is just hopeless. Crime, racism, police brutality. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's how it's rare that you get shot by a police. You're more likely to get killed by another Black person than the police. You know, and the bottom line is this: there's plenty of jobs, everything like that, if you really want it, you know. It's not that bad for you in America. But you can't tell the average Pan-Africanist, right? They're like, oh, yeah, what are you going to do? We're going to starve in the next 10 years. We got to get to Africa. When you start acting like that, man, intelligent people push back and say, look, man, I'm good. What are you talking about? Then you're like, oh, no, man, you just living a paycheck to paycheck and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I'm happy. I'm good. I got my bills are paid. My kids are going to school. And I got a life here and everything like that, you know? And Pan-Africans can't just tell people, the solution is to bum rush the coast, get out of here and just go to Africa or whatnot. And Africa is not ready for Black America on any scale. And not. And so I'm glad that For Righteous chick came up here because I cleared that up. I never told anybody. If I said we should go to Africa or whatever like that, I'm talking to the people who have the means to, and that can make a difference. I ain't talking about the average Black person in America. Talking about bum rushing the coast, you know. Ruth said, how can so-called Africa minimize the negative narrative that the continent are thought that good by the media? But the bottom line is Africans, they basically, unfortunately, it's about intelligence, right? The Africans in Africa, how did Black people generate $1.6 trillion a year if they're all on government assistance and they're all poor? It's impossible. How is it that we got majority of Black men are middle class, Black men in America, middle class? How is it that you got 2.5 million Black men that are in the top income bracket in America? How does that happen? And the bottom line is this: when you got business, I show businesses like this. They're like, how did that happen? Because they bought the Kool-Aid. There's this whole thing, the so-called social justice Black people, the people like Umar Johnson, to them, Black America is just doom and gloom and blah, blah, blah. We need this and we got that, support my school and blah, blah. These people give the Pan-African world a bad name because the only way they can sell Pan-African and make it seem like Black America is just so doom and gloom and everything like that. And so therefore, instead of Africans basically saying, having people saying, yeah, you guys are coming over here because you guys got investment. Now, if these 20 top Black businesses was the face of Pan-African, the movement would be successful. Trust me. But the so-called face of Pan-African is people like Umar Johnson, dusty dudes like Umar Johnson. That's the face of Pan-Africanism, and all these other goofy people that's out here talking about how bad we have it in America, and we're doing all this stuff like this. And then all of a sudden, the other group of Black people, the Wobbles and all those other people like this, they're basically asking for a reparations check But at the same time, they say we got to pop it over here. How can you have it popping and you asking for a reparations check because you're doing bad? See, everybody, like I said, the truth always comes out. Could it be that Black people in America are doing okay, and the people that could benefit from Pan-Africanism on both sides of the Atlantic, if we have a real plan to build economic development on both sides, we could mutually benefit and everything. It's like we could create a situation where the African could benefit, and the African American and the Black American could benefit, and the Caribbean could benefit, and everything. And that's a new paradigm. Because what other paradigm is that besides Black people seeking more integration with white? Either that, or Black people keep doing the tried and failed testing of integrating with white people and stuff like this. I think the Black people are ready to embrace this Black world. That's what all Pan-Africanism is building the Black world. Building a Black global. A global Black African infrastructure, That's why we created BAO, a global pipeline of Black businesses and all the stuff like that working together, I think that's the future. Now, if you don't believe in that, that means you don't want to be part of the Black race. Because I think we're headed towards that, even look at the award shows. You got this girl from South Africa, even though I don't like BET, I think it's garbage and everything like that, right? You got this girl, Tyler, won a BET award. So we're getting smaller and smaller in the world when Black people and Africans are coming together. You got people, Afrobeats being featured in the BET awards and everything like that. If BET awards ain't worth anything, you see that, it's like you cannot ignore the fact that, the global Black world is uniting, on some way. So you gotta get with the program. Black America, it's not an isolated group of people anymore. It's not like that. You got Africans on the scene now. They're making waves and everything like that. They're on the picture. So how this it could be used against us. We could be replaced, or we could just basically say, look, this is where we stand. This is where we make our stand. This is what we do and everything, and engage the Black diaspora. There's opportunities all over the continent. You just have to basically know where you're going and know you're like this. I always ask people, when you talk about opportunities, I always ask people, well, what do you do for a living? What do you do? Are you a professional, or are you a manufacturer and stuff like that? I'm gonna tell you right now, in manufacturing, there's plenty of opportunity in Africa for manufacturing. You ain't gonna find nobody. If you have the capital to build a factory or a processing plant, whatever that can process stuff and put it in the cans or whatever like that, or process stuff and put it in packages and everything like that. And you could do warehousing and logistics and freezing and stuff like that. Yeah, there's plenty of opportunity. It's endless. Retired military veteran. I don't know. I mean, depends on what do you do? What did you learn in the military? Prior educator. Well, I do to know this in countries like Angola, where they're learning, where they would like to learn English. You can get a job in Angola teaching English. That I do know, because they speak Portuguese, was a useless language, and the Angolans tell me all the time they're looking for English teachers. And you got a lot of some Black Americans that go there and they teach English. You got people from South Africa, Namibia, take the jobs too, and they pay really well as far as like teaching English. In the Portuguese speaking countries. In all those countries like that they're moving away from French to English and stuff like that. Yeah, teaching language is a good thing. I was a meteorologist. I don't know how that could do. I don't know. Like I said, if you go to an advanced country like South Africa, you might be able to find work and stuff like that. But I don't know much about meteorology and stuff like that. But you got advanced countries like that, so it's. Baruti says the so-called, let's see. Baruti says the so-called ADOS movement uses media leverage to make point are disrespect, desperately need because blacks are economic bottom. Yeah, not middle class. Majority of black people in America are in the middle class, working class, middle class, whatever like that. That's what I consider working class, middle class, somewhere in that fluctuation. Some upper class, something like this. You know, the ADOS FBA movement is just basically black people who said that back in the days, we were talking about building black businesses and everything like that, building Black Wall Street and everything like that, and buy black and everything. Along comes this ADOS FBA movement, right? Who wanted to steer us back to begging white people or engaging the government for handouts. So while they was talking about the handouts and we need help from the government, in other words, we need white people involved in our business all over again. You know, we found well, those of us who have been in the Buy Black movement realized that we could do this without white people. That's why the BAO was created. And we also realized that achieving the BAO success building Black African infrastructure required only black people to do this. So we didn't need white people. But along comes ADOS people talking about, no, we need help from the government. We need, look at this. The government owes us. Look at this. So therefore, they wanted to tether themselves to white America, you know? Well, we got a stake here because we've been here so long. That's what the American descendants of slavery was created, you know? So in other words, they want white people to recognize that they're kinfolk and they relate to when white people has moved on from black people and slavery and everything like that. So they will remind white people of slavery and everything like that constantly. So they latched onto the reparations movement, you know? We got owe us for reparations. So bottom line, it's just an excuse to engage white people on some sort of level. That's all it is. It's an excuse to freaking beg white people and engage white people for crumbs and handouts and recognition. That's all it is. Because those of us in the Black nationalist movement figured like we could do this, especially with social media, but we could build our own world without white people. We don't need them. Between people with e-commerce and people, you know how many millions of dollars a day is spent in cash apps and stuff like that, people getting projects off the ground and everything because they got GoFundMe, Cash App, everything. We figured out we didn't need white people anymore, you know, because we could communicate with each other. You know, somebody could raise hundreds of thousands of dollars in a day for a project, you know, if you got a good idea or whatever like that. So that was what we were moving towards. So the other people, the ADOS FBA people didn't like that, you know, so they're like, no. We still got to be engaged with the government and everything like that. You know, these same old civil rights, we shall overcome and blah, blah, blah. And that's what it is. So the ADOS FBA movement is, and then Vet Carter was adamant about black people ain't got no money. How do you know what black people got, you know? You know, she was complaining about black people have to pay for the movie Black Panther ticket because we're poor. We ain't got no money. No, you're poor because you're a friggin' hood rat chick, whatnot, you know, because you're poor and whatnot, you know. We got money. Black people like this, you know. I'm a graduate of the he said, I meant to say, ADOS claimed that black people are desperate. How do you know? I just played who are they talking about? The black people in the top 20 black businesses in America? The majority of black men who are in the middle class? Who are these people that with no wealth, no resources? These are black losers. It's like I said, we have black trash and we have losers. You know, the loser, we have long time let the Yvette Carnells and the black losers be the voice and the face of black America. You know, people like Yvette Carnell is nothing but black trash. She's a loser. You know, these people that got nothing, they built nothing, they have nothing, they're never gonna be nothing, you know. He says, do you think Africa will be at a point to create the professional establishment? Yeah, they already at that point. It's just that depends on when you say Africa, that's a break. You got 54 countries. So every country is different. You have to know something about each country that you're talking about, know the culture, know the politics and everything like that, and use some common sense. Be smart. Not every country you're going to go to, you always going to be people in there. Oh, yeah, we got a great country. And they're using you, That's why I say it's best if you were thinking about Africa, join this BAO social network and whatnot. Whatever country you're in, link with members of our group that's in that country already that could tell you about the country and school you around. So therefore, you're always with a thing. This whole individual thing is not going to work. Black people in America, if you're talking about Africa, you got to get out of that individual mindset. You should have like 10 people that if you're planning to go to Africa or like that, you should find at least 10 people that's serious about the continent. And someone's going to stay back in America. Someone may go to the continent with you, whatever like that. 10 people, 10 strong people that you can confide in, and some local people in the country that you're targeting, whatnot, that you could confide in. This is our agenda. This is what we're going to do and stuff like that and everything like that. But you got to know what you're talking about, or sound like you know what you're talking about and have an idea what you want to do. Yeah, they got professional establishment corporate. Africa has all that. Africa wants to move up. If they don't, you could be the face of that corporation. Show them why your business or your establishment and everything can improve their life and everything. If it's a good idea, they'll go with it. There are plenty of successful Black people from America that's in Africa right now doing very well. Not saying it's for everybody, but some people, if you got the education and skills, you could definitely be used on the African continent. But make sure you go to the right country, check out the infrastructure and all stuff like this. The Rockers. I grew up wealthy. My father's a former president of Anheuser-Busch, Harvard Business School graduate. I seriously doubt that. In Harvard Business School, they give out degrees to everybody, Ellen Sirleaf was given a business degree from Harvard and everything like this, non-accredited degrees. Vicente Fox of Mexico was given it. Bill O'Reilly was given one, The Harvard School of Business gives out freaking degrees to everybody, There's no big deal about getting a degree from Harvard, Their business school, the Kennedy School of Harvard is unaccredited. But I'm gonna put the link in there one more time. I'll take my last callers. They want to call in when I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and tonight's been on for 2 hours and everything like that. I will be back tomorrow night. Might do a part 2 to this, Black America's Identity Crisis. Continue with this topic. But the show is growing. Thanks for you folks coming out and everything. Thanks. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that like button. You help me out when you hit that like button. I don't even care about super chats or none of that. I care about the likes and you sharing the video and subscribing and hit the bell notifications. So when you get a show, you get a notified that we're coming, and then you spread it out to Twitter and Facebook or whoever like that. Say we got this guy Genesis. He's saying something different. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to sound different from these other people who call themselves pan-africanists. And the bottom line is I'm going to be different because I tell you like it is. Forget about these other people. Now I'm friends with a lot of these other people in the Pan-African world, but I come with the real truth, and I come with facts and everything. I don't go telling you a fantasy about Africa. I don't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sell you a dream and everything like that. Going to Africa could be the biggest mistake of your life. Or if you're in the right position, it could be the best decision you ever did. It all depends on you, your situation, circumstances, and also having God's grace and a little bit of luck. Let me tell you something, folks. Some people, luck is on their side. A biscuit would do shut up, Sometimes luck is on your side, and some people are lucky, and things work out for them, right? And some people just don't have any luck. Luck is not on their side. Things always happen to them and everything like that, and they can't catch a break. That's just life. So therefore, like I said, sometimes you may go to Africa, you may lose everything. Luck is not on your side, You're just an unlucky person. Africa is not going to save everybody. Oh, yeah, I'm African now, so I'm going to go get it and get rich. No. If you're a loser in America, you're a sucker, and you're a flunky and a failure in America, most likely you're going to fail in Africa. That's what it is. You carry you with you. So I'm not going to be like, yeah, Africa's going to solve all your problems. No, it don't work like that. People who are winners generally win no matter where they go. You could take a winner and drop them in and drop him into the Arctic, into Antarctica. He'll find a way how to navigate. Next thing you know, he's down there with a friggin' colony of seals, and he's making money and doing whatever, and he's surviving. You can put him in Australia. Next thing you know, well, yeah, a year from now, oh yeah, I got a business over here, new wife, whatever like that. Some people are like that. Some people you can give them all the resources in the world, and they're still gonna fuck up. He said constantly, not every country has electrical problems. You can't say like this. You got to look at the different countries. Some countries like Botswana and Namibia and stuff like that got no electrical problems. You got to look at it, see if you know something about the continent. Yeah, some countries that are really doing well with electricity distribution and stuff like that. Kenya is another one that's really good electricity. Ghana has a lot of electrical problems and everything like that. Liberia's having electrical problems and everything like that. They got to get together. Nigeria is another one that has electrical problems and everything. Some countries really, really got their electrical grid down packed. Countries like Angola, really good electrical grid. They don't have problems with power and stuff like that. So it all depends on what country you're talking about. Now, every country got blackouts and everything. Some countries got blackouts, And a lot of times it's not electrical shortages in Africa. It's a lot of times where electricity goes, it's load shedding. In other words, basically, when electricity is put out there, right, it has to go someplace. If the electricity is not being used, right, it gets backed up in the transformer. It can blow the transformer and blow the grid out. So that electricity got to go someplace. So in other words, what they do is they'll shut the electrical grid down in certain parts of the city to let the electrical current pass for a few hours, and then load it back up again. That's when they have blackouts, and so the grid is overlooked because there's no place to put that excess electricity. That's what happens. Now, if Africa was really industrialized, then that electricity would be eaten up by industrial parks and stuff like that. That's what happens. Not because there's lack of electricity, it's because the electricity has to go someplace, and there's not enough people on the grid to handle the current that comes in. You see how it works, G? This is stuff that you could find out online on YouTube about how electrical grids work and why we have blackouts. There's tons of videos about this on YouTube. YouTube is like an education center. It's like the new library. I got my education from going to the library when I was younger. Now you got YouTube. I can just go put stuff on YouTube. And how is that done and everything like that? Okay, I learned a lot. Before I just have to go to the library, check out a book on there. Now you can go on YouTube and you can find out the answers to yourself. Bruce says a recent video compared to leverage power African versus African. Different cultural outlook applications. Well, Afrikaners in South Africa own the economy. We don't have that sort of power in America, you know. They dominate the economy, the wealth of South Africa, you know. You know. Yeah, about load shedding. I'm a pool of knowledge, man. I'm very, very educated on about a lot of stuff. When I'm just somebody here talking, you know, I can answer questions. I know what I'm talking about, you know. Okay, African Americans, we're not a group. Afrikaners in South Africa are an organized group. Black people in America are not organized because we've been told for years not to be organized, just be an individual, wait on the government, wait on white people. That's what the whole ADOS FBA movement, that's not a unity movement. That's just black people going back to being an individual, waiting on some handout from the government. Instead of saying, look, let's pool our money together and open up our own banks and stuff like that. And like that, they don't want that. You know, that's why they've sent this ADOS FBA movement there to basically tell us that we're not Africans. We need to fight with Africans. And they don't want our money. Because God forbid if Black America open up a bank on the African continent, right, and start funneling our money throughout the continent. They don't want that. You think they want millions and millions and billions of dollars flowing out of the U.S. into Africa? Of course not. So they send people like Tariq Nasheeds and Yvette Carnells and all these other people to keep you so-called we're Americans. We're Americans. That what comes with that is our money stay in America. That's why this would be for righteous, right? Look, sister, the bottom line is white people don't want our money. They don't care about us, right? They want to make sure our dollars stay in their economy. You know? Kevin, listen to college, drop a fact. He has been there and doing it in real time. Yeah, college is a real thing. You know, he's a real thing. College is a real thing. So the bottom line is this. The one thing they don't want is black people taking their money and investing in only what you have in black-owned banks here. And there's not one African-American-owned bank outside the United States. Forget about Africa, not even Canada, not Mexico, not anything, because that's power right there. Power right there when you could get people to put their savings and everything, billions of dollars, and banks have access to billions of dollars to lend out and stuff like that. You know what? That'd be a game changer on the African continent if we could do that. We could be buying up African debt, buying up mines, buying up farmland. We could be buying up everything. And then you got this another side is people are now using the black people in America are colonizers, right? To stop that. So if I was an African, I'd be like this. Who would you rather, let's say we are colonized, they call me colonizer, right? I would much rather be colonized by black people from America than Lebanese or European. Lebanese have nothing. Lebanese come to Africa, they take loans from the World Bank, the African Development Bank, right? And when they make all that money in West Africa, they send it to that shithole Lebanon. Lebanon has nothing. Without West Africa, Lebanon would be a shithole. Nothing. And so the bottom line, Lebanese and Indians are bleeding Africa dry. So who would you rather have getting that money in West Africa or not? Us, black people from America, or would you rather have the Lebanese, Chinese, and Europeans? Make a choice. So when you engage in a stupid conversation about calling black Americans colonizers and all stupid stuff like this is why I said this end of pan-Africanism, I have to fight. I have to choose side. Right now, there's lines being drawn between continental Africans and African Americans and whatnot. I got to side with my African Americans, you know. Other people basically like this. My brother Diane Samir, he don't know what side he's on. He sounds like a Nigerian half the time, a Sierra Leone. I know where my bread is buttered. Black America. I know what birthed me and everything. I know who's going to have my back when it really comes down to it, you know. So that's where I'm at. Bruce, you said, Kyle, recent video compared the leverage power of Africans and outside. What's the difference between these groups? Because I just told you, the bottom line is Black people in America are not a unified group of people. The Afrikaners got Rembrandt. They got these Dutch companies that go way back and whatnot. You know, they control the stock exchange. They're really organized, from the farmers to everything. The logistics, everything. The manufacturing, they organized. Black people in America are not organized at any sort of capacity to control anything. You know, so that's the difference. And that's why I said, if we would basically go to Africa and become organized and built around a few key business and one core bank and real estate company and whatnot, you know, we would get somewhere. But nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to sit there and go to Africa and be like, oh, man, we're on our own. And the wrong people in Black America always end up in Africa failing. So it looks like Africa is a freaking a mess because Black people in America go over there. The wrong type of Black people go over there. Some people just don't have a good luck. Some people are just not smart. You were not a businessman in America. You never owned a home in America, but yet you're going to go to Africa. And suddenly you're going to build a big house and open up a business and everything. You know, a continent with no mortgage, no credit, no nothing, and all stuff like this. You're going to do all that miracle in Africa that with everything in America you have access to, you know, first-time home buyers, stuff like that. And you can't do it in America, but yet suddenly you're going to go to Africa and all your dreams are going to come true. That's stupid. But that's the mentality of the average Black repatriationist going to Africa. I'm going to go over there. I'm just going to make it because Africa is the motherland and everything like that. Stupid people, you know. All right, folks. Does anybody want to come up? If not, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I'd like to get one more call in before I end it, but I'm not going to do that. All right, folks. It's been great. I'll see you guys tomorrow night and Saturday night. We got a triple header this weekend, you know. So, folks, good night and good luck. Y'all take care.